Hello everyone, and welcome to this brand new edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Kendrick Dix. Can you believe we are nearly 9 days away till Christmas? Many of you celebrate Christmas the way you do. We at the Pro Wrestling Show and Connect TV would like to celebrate saying thank you for watching, and we hope you have a good Merry Christmas. You know, hey, you're spreading holiday cheer. Well, on today's show, we're going to have the Raw Ring Report, the SmackDown Ring Report, the Impact Ring Report, and the latest wrestling news and hot topics. Alright, let's start with the Raw Ring Report. Alright, Monday Night Raw is going down, as usual, with Samoa Joe kicking off the show. He demanded Roman Reigns. Only Roman Reigns. He didn't want the whole Shield, Ambrose and Rollins. He called him a coward, as normally he would. The Shield watched from backstage with Renee Young, and they told Roman about it, and that Joe was running his mouth. Roman Reigns felt obligated to come down ringside and fight Samoa Joe, and backed off for a minute. So, with that interesting picture, when we see Samoa Joe challenging Roman Reigns down the road, I meant to say, for a chance for Intercontinental Championship gold, you know, hey, we'll find out. Well, Paige and her group, Absolution, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville, with Sonya Deville, it was just Paige and Mandy Rose, defeat the team of Mickie James and Bayley with Sasha Banks in their corner. Now, a little bit later on the show, we're going to talk about Tribute to the Troops, where it was a Thursday night hitter between WWE and TNA for just one night only. Alright. And many of you are critics of the Matt Hardy Woken character. It's a little bit lukewarm, watered down. It's WWE, many of you like to say. Well, they try to revisit that past with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt laughing amongst each other, and it's like Laugh Fest version 2.0. And you would have thought that Matt was a little bit, it was gonna make the Matt Hardy character grow in prominence, but it's like what they're doing, it's like the Impact Wrestling version worked in the WWE version. I'm sorry, Matt, but I wish you would go back and Impact Wrestling with this little allowing people to take their talents elsewhere, copyright. Well, we'll get to that later on Hot Topics, but the first one was great, but it looks like the writers don't know what to do with these characters. And Bray Wyatt, a strong character, a former WWE champion, and you don't have no material for him. He writes his own material, but it's like that was a match made in heaven between him and Matt Hardy, and they trying to dim it down. Come on, WWE, come on. Alright. Finn Balor takes on Curtis Axel one-on-one, and a lot of people have been saying like Finn Balor should be challenging Brock, who should be next in line for the Universal Championship match. Like I said, don't know what's going on with that situation. If Finn Balor don't get a chance, the opportunity, who knows? And they put him with that. Maybe they might give him a shot at Royal Rumble and see if he can prove himself from there, because it's a lot of odds with Royal Rumble coming up soon. Alright, men, you know that the Shield was going to be an individual competition. Well, the first match was Seth Rollins battling Sheamus, and Rollins won with that patented jumping kick to defeat Sheamus for the win. Now, a lot of people saying Sheamus might have an injury, but hey, I don't know for sure or for a fact if that's true or not. Hey, if you know, let us know. Last chance match for the cruiserweights, fatal 4-way. Originally, it was scheduled to be what's his name, Rich Swann going against Drew Gulak, but on Hot Topics, we're going to talk about Rich Swann's situation that broke this past weekend that many folks left shocked, and I was shocked myself. Like, I had to take a double look and say, wait a minute now, we Swan? Oh my God. Well, the losers of those individual matches that Swan and Gulak won met each other again, where Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, Daivari, and Tony Nese all competed for one last shot. Either going to be a do or die situation for each man. Cedric Alexander wins, and he fights Drew Gulak next week in the finals. And the winner of next week's match earns the right to fight Enzo for the Cruiserweight Championship. So that's kind of fair. Alright, the second match, individual match for the Shield, was the Intercontinental Championship match, where Cesaro challenged Roman Reigns for the title, and he lost the opportunity to become the Intercontinental Champion. But Cesaro said, I'm already champion, I can be a double champion. Cesaro, the strongest and the best wrestler in the WWE roster today. You know, I would consider him being world champion, because Cesaro kind of had his options where, like, I know he's a WWE guy, but, you know, if, you know, other promotions had top money, I could see Cesaro being world champion. You know, that's the question for the day. Do you think Cesaro could be a world champion outside of WWE? Let us know. And another match, Samoa Joe wrestling Dean Ambrose, and Samoa Joe, with the help of Jason Jordan, gets the win. Now, Jason Jordan been meddling in his business for as late, just trying to get himself noticed and get himself some recognition. But many of the fans are turned against him, like they don't like him, but he's a good wrestler. So it's kind of like Jason Jordan trying to find his footing in wrestling. Alright, Titus Worldwide welcomes Daniel Brooke as their new member, but the Bullet Clubs walk up and cause them nerves to their faces. That was like a backstage segment. The main event was Braun Strowman, the Monster Among Men, taking on Kane, the Big Red Machine, for the opportunity to become the #1 contender for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. And neither man won that match, and it was a draw. Now, my conclusion is that it's going to be a triple threat match between Strowman, Kane, and Lesnar for the Universal Championship at Royal Rumble. You know, these three behemoths, these three monsters, these three just three, you put them all in that ring and let them fight. But we found out that Brock Lesnar will be in attendance on Raw this week to return to, you know, just make his presence felt. And how will he react when either Braun Strowman and Kane, all of them in the same building at the same time? We'll find out this Monday on Raw. And that ends the Raw Ring Report. Alright. On the SmackDown Ring Report, let's move on to the SmackDown Report. On the SmackDown Report, the show began with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens passing out brochures to superstars, personnel, anybody that just how unfair Shane McMahon is doing them. WWE Champion AJ Styles comes out and cut a promo about defending his championship against Jinder Mahal at this Sunday's Clash of Champions. And we're going to have predict the outcome later on the show, where I predict who will win at Clash of Champions. So stay tuned for that. The Singh brothers makes an appearance and try to convince AJ that they didn't buy into AJ. They have changed, and AJ didn't buy it. And he sent the Singh brothers back to their leader, Jinder Mahal, who came out and embarrassed Jinder and the Singhs. And it was a weak segment, to be honest, because while I would like to see Jinder Mahal, which they should have did with Jinder Mahal, come out and call out the Singh brothers and challenged them to a match. And then when the Singh brothers are unsure, they want to fight their former ally, and AJ Styles come out there and convince them, go fight them and stuff. And then at the end they have this match, and then AJ gets the one being double turned and double crossed. That's what it worked better. To see they was trying to be sympathetic to AJ, and then next thing you know, Jinder had them in their pocket. Stuff like that. Women's champion Charlotte Flair met Ruby Riott in a match, and Natalya was on the broadcast booth. Natalya interfered and attacked Charlotte. The Riott Squad was going to ram the face of the women's champion through the steel steps until Naomi Music came out and she stopped them from doing what they did to her. They did to hers, and so Naomi is back. I guess they just wrote her off just for a moment. The announcers giving a brief rundown of NXT for the next night. Daniel Bryan takes a phone call from Shane McMahon, and Bryan tells Shane that he has SmackDown Live under control for tonight, while Zayn and Owens are wearing Daniel Bryan t-shirts and playing around. So you got to be wondering, is Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, are they in cahoots? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, and we'll find out that. Bobby Roode is on commentary, the glorious one, and he watches the singles match between U.S. champion Baron Corbin wrestling Dolph Ziggler. Roode comes out of commentary, stops the match completely by DQ, and gives a glorious DDT to both dudes. Ziggler and Corbin sending a message for Clash of Champions that he wants to be the next United States champion. The Bludgeon Brothers are in action, and they will meet Breezango at Clash of Champions. But meanwhile, they take on some local jobbers, beat them under a few minutes. Did you know that one of the jobbers was Colin Delaney, who used to wrestle in ECW, the WWE version? He looked a little bit older than he usually did, so I didn't recognize him at first. And then did you see at the end when the other wrestlers were screaming for his life? He was just screaming for his life, man. Alright, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens had that little summit about Shane McMahon's abuse of power. Daniel Bryan comes out and makes a huge announcement regarding their tag team match at Clash of Champions, where Daniel Bryan adds himself as the second special guest referee. So a lot of interesting footnotes right there. Would Daniel Bryan call it right down the middle, or would Daniel Bryan do something that he will regret? Where Shane McMahon will be in one corner, and he said it. Shane McMahon made it clear, perfectly clear, that he's going to back. He's going to keep it fair and balanced, but he's going to favor Shinsuke and Randy Orton over Owens and Zayn. And if Owens and Zayn do not win their match, they could be fired from WWE. So it's a lot of stakes in this match. No love lost. I meant to say no love lost here between those guys. Rusev in English defeated New Day with the help of Benjamin and Gable, and issued them a warning for Sunday. So Shelton Benjamin, Chad Gable, that babyface gimmick ain't working, so they're gonna turn heel and be nasty. We'll see. Mojo Rawley faces Zack Ryder on the Clash of Champions kickoff and gives a rundown of the match for Clash of Champions, and we'll see these former teammates of the Hype Bros clash this Sunday at Clash of Champions. Shinsuke Nakamura, with Randy Orton in his corner, takes on Kevin Owens with Sami Zayn in his corner. And I think Kevin Owens won the match with Daniel Bryan's help. So Daniel Bryan, his allegiance is in the standstill. But later on the show, we're going to have predict the outcome, and I'll give you to more details on this historic match, whether somebody's going to get fired or some implications of going on that something's gonna go terribly wrong, but we'll find out later on that. Well, that ends the SmackDown Ring Report. When we return, we're gonna have hot topics. We're gonna have the first Ring of Honor report and the Impact Ring Report and predict the outcome. This is a fully stacked show. You don't want to go nowhere. This is the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll be right back.
Cue tracks.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Kendra Dix, and as you know, let's get to it. Let's get to the Impact Ring Report. Alright, Impact Wrestling. Oh man. Impact Wrestling started with the two women that came all the way, Laura Van Ness and Rosemary. One of these women would be Knockouts champion. And we'll find out at the end. But and the opening match was a fatal four-way between the women that they defeated, and they had to fight each other to be the number one contender, whoever the new champion was going to be. It was between Sienna, Allie, Casey Spinelli, and Madison Rayne for a chance to become the number one contender for the Knockouts title. And you know what? Allie won the match with guidance and help from her friend Gail Kim. Allie pulled it out, and she's next in line for the Knockouts Championship, whoever the champion may be. Oh man! And on a footnote, all four women. let's see. Impact was being fair with that on a footnote. X Division match was Trevor Lee and Caleb Conlon take on Desmond Xavier and Ishimori. Now it was a good tense match with the good team won, Xavier and Ishimori. Now they have something right there with those two, Xavier and Ishimori. I think they'll be the next future of the X Division if you keep the ball there, because they with those high flying moves and maneuvers and stuff like that. Trevor Lee and Caleb Conlon is good as well. You know, Trevor Lee trying to find his foot and find his niche. So good match from those two. In backstage area, Alberto El Patron warned Johnny Impact Pete Williams to don't try anything stupid in the ring. So, because Alberto has bad blood and bad ties with Johnny Impact over their grudge over the Global Championship, and Alberto screwing Impact over the title at Bound for Glory, and Impact hasn't forgot about that. Meanwhile, Global Champion Eli Drake and Christopher Adonis are backstage with Jimmy Jacobs, and they talk about something that mysterious, but you know, hey, it is what it is. For their 6-man tag team match, and then we finally get to the match where Eli Drake teams up with his associate Christopher Adonis, friend, ally, and Jimmy Jacobs, and a mystery partner, with going against Alberto El Patron, Johnny Impact, and Peter Williams. And DNA, which Drake and Adonis calls himself these days, their mystery partner was none other than Jimmy Jacobs' latest recruit, Congo Kong. So they trying to rebuild Congo Kong. And Congo Kong, it looked like gonna have feud with Peter Williams because he threw Peter Williams over the crowd. And El Patron and Impact couldn't put their differences aside, and Impact had the win until El Patron decided to do business for himself and pull Impact from covering Drake and pin the Global Champion with the frog splash from the top. So hey, it is what it is. Alberto's out for himself. Well, Impact announced that Alberto will get a shot at the championship, because I guess if you pick the champion, you thus automatically become the number one contender. And Eli Drake will defend his global title against Alberto El Patron on the first Impact of 2018, January 4th. Alberto El Patron challenging Eli Drake for the global championship. Alberto El Patron trying to regain the championship that he never lost, that he was stripped of, and he gets that shot. We'll see on Impact. Joseph Parker's on the phone, and he gets interrupted by his younger brother. And then you know who his younger brother is. I forgot what Chris, something like that. But man, you know, it's indie wrestler Ethan Page. He decides that he wants to be a wrestler, and that's introducing him as a wrestler. So we'll see on that, how that prevails and escalates. Moose and James Storm makes their entrance. It says to AT&T is pissing them off, America's Top Team, and calls them to the ring. Storm challenges Dan Lambert, and he puts his own career on the line, and Dan Lambert accepts. So the match is made. The match will happen on the first Impact of 2018, where if Dan Lambert wins, James Storm must retire. If James Storm wins, Dan Lambert must leave Impact. It's like leave Impact for good. It's like a loser leave Impact and a career match, a retirement match. So there's so much going on. Alright, the final match of Impact was to determine the new Knockouts champion between Laura Van Ness and Rosemary. And it was a hard fought battle. Both women gave their all, but at the end, Rosemary was going to use that spit, that green mist. Laura Van Ness caught the mist with her hand and rubbed it in the face of Rosemary, and Laura Van Ness used the unpretty over the top rope and just dropped her down and got to 1, 2, 3 and became the new Knockouts champion. Conan and Sam Callahan had their little meeting, and it didn't turn so well that he thought it would. They was talking about LAX and OVE. It went south in a hurry as Sammy Callahan blew through some fireball in Conan's eye, causing Conan to be blind. Man, I tell you right there, Conan used to do some dirty things himself, but when you meet somebody that's even dirtier than you can't even you can't withstand it. All right, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Well, speaking of Impact had a competition that night for one time only with WWE. It was a Thursday night doubleheader as WWE went head to head with Impact. WWE had Tribute to the Troops, as many of you know, Tribute to the Troops report. We would call it the WWE report. The WWE report. And it started with Lillian Garcia singing the national anthem, and the crowd vigorously cheer and clap. And one thing about, everybody has different politics. Either you for this and for against that. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. Y'all should respect the flag. Y'all should, it depends on what your preference is. It is what it is. The opening match was a huge 6-man tag team match from Raw with the Shield against Samoa Joe and the Raw Tag Team Champions Sheamus, Cesaro, The Bar. Reigns got the pinfall and won for his team. The Shield thanked everybody for their service, and then at the end of the day, these brave men and women who fight each and every day for our freedoms. And we really respect that here on Connect TV and the Pro Wrestling Show. Next was Carmella versus Ruby Riott versus the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte in a triple threat match. And Charlotte put the figure 8 on Carmella and she tapped out. And Charlotte gave a speech thanking the servicemen, and she was inspired by the women who serve. Nice to hear that from Charlotte. Machine Gun Kelly performed throughout the show. He performed twice, trying to promote, trying to sell and market, I guess, and sing. So, hey, he got to do what he got to do. We got a small preview of the Tag Team Championship match as the New Day team with former rivals, the Usos, to take on English, Rusev, and Shelton Benjamin, Chad Gable. And the face team won. New Day, and early on in the match, had something to say to the troops to thank them for their service. Everybody thanking everybody for their service. Next, another 6-person tag from Raw. It was Sasha Banks, the women. Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Bayley teamed up and wrestled Paige and Absolution. Paige won for her team. So Paige getting that momentum. Is Paige in line for a women's championship opportunity? Hey, she's hot right now, coming back, and I don't see why they don't try to draw her in the picture. But hey, sorry about that. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe at Royal Rumble it might be Paige versus Alexa Bliss. Who knows? Alexa Bliss, watch out! Your title is in jeopardy. And finally, another 6-man tag team match for SmackDown with the WWE Champion AJ Styles teaming with former WWE Champion Randy Orton, the youngest WWE Champion, and former NXT Champion Shinsuke Nakamura battling former WWE Champion and #1 contender Jinder Mahal, and Kevin Owens, former Universal Champion, and Sami Zayn, former NXT Champion. In the main event, Nakamura won over Jinder Mahal, winning the victory for the good team, setting them momentum for Clash of the Champions this Sunday. And like I said, that ends the WWE report. When we do predict the outcome, stay tuned for that, because you don't want to miss out on that, for real. Alright. Let's go to the Ring of Honor report. Alright, on the Ring of Honor report, everybody is fixated about the Briscoes. I mean like obsessed. It's like hardcore wrestling all over again. The Briscoes attacked Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray. This all started when Bully Ray decided that he wanted to retire, and Jay Briscoe attacked him from behind. Tommy Dreamer came out on one episode of Ring of Honor and told Jay to stop it, and Jay beat him down as well, and as well as his brother Mark. And it all culminated when the Briscoes demanded a hardcore match with the ECW originals, and Ring of Honor COO Joe Koff granted them the match that they wanted, and a brawl escalated. Like the COO says, he wants to see violence, he wants to see hardcore, and he wants to see a brutal matchup. And I think that's what you're going to get at Final Battle. If you haven't seen the pay-per-view, hey, you can order it through this weekend. I want to see it myself. That match is going to be good. And finally, the contract signing between Ring of Honor World Champion Cody Rhodes, his wife Brandy, met #1 contender Dalton Castle to sign the contract and fight for the Ring of Honor title. Now, Dalton Castle sent a message that he wants to be Ring of Honor champion. He's done all the politics and all the playedness. He wants to be champion. And Cody Rhodes kind of like easing it up, like, you know what I'm saying? He's sipping like tea. But Cody Rhodes wearing that fur coat, reminiscence of his father, Dusty Rhodes, who used to wear fur coats back in the NWA days. Cody Rhodes sent a message that he is going to tend to keep his world title. And he revealed, we'll talk about that later, but he revealed a new piece of hardware. But we'll talk about that on Hot Topics. Alright, that ends the Ring of Honor report. When we return, we're going to have Hot Topics. We're going to talk about that situation that Cody unveiled his new piece of hardware. We're going to talk about the Rich Swann situation. And we're going to talk about more about WWE bringing a new Facebook show. Can't believe it. Next year. Can't believe it. All this is a hot topic. And plus, predict the outcome. All this and more. Stay tuned. This is the Pro Wrestling Show. To the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Kendra Dix, on this stacked edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Alright, let's get to hot topics. Alright, hot topics this week. Noam Dar had surgery for his knee. He's had nagging knee problems ever since that he was in a match last month, and his knee gave out. So Noam Dar's going to be expected out of action for a while, but we wish Noam Dar the best of luck and speedy recovery back to WWE and in the Cruiserweight division. Also, there's been Scott Hall and King Kong Bundy were in a exchange heated words and trying to fight each other. This is something that Pro Wrestling Sheets reported. Pro Wrestling Sheets claimed that this started at a convention. Scott Hall was a little bit loud and yelled at King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy had no choice but to fight back with words. Imagine, you think he would have done the 5 count on Scott Hall? Hey yo, you got the 5 count on me. When Bundy like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was like 5 count. Who knows? I'm just hypothetically. Let's just hypothetically speaking. Scott Hall, King Kong Bundy. Man. Alright, a busy week for The Rock. The Rock announced that he's expecting his 3rd child with his female partner, and they will be having a girl this spring. Also, The Rock was earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Congratulations on The Rock on both accomplishments. Another accomplishment that I didn't see coming was Madness. You know Madness. Nick Aldis, former Impact World Champion, former GFW Global Champion, won the big one. He is the new NWA Champion. He defeated Tim Storm after challenging him on numerous occasions. Won the title at a Combat Zone Wrestling live event this past weekend. This is Madness' first reign as NWA Champion, and you can tell he's no stranger of winning world championships. The story that we all been talking about this past week was WWE star Rich Swann was arrested and charged with domestic violence. Now WWE suspended him for 30 days. According to Pro Wrestling Sheets, Swann was taken into custody around 12 a.m. on Sunday, and no bond has been listed. Many sources have claimed that Swann put his wife in a headlock and threw her in the car because she was critiquing his match, or he was critiquing her match. And the charges are listed as battery and kidnap, false imprisonment of an adult. No further details are available at this time. Man, Rich Swann was on top of the world, becoming the next in line for the Cruiserweight Championship, and now he got this little thing hanging on this black cloud. Man, oh man. I wouldn't even believe today that you would have told me Rich Swann was doing all that. I would not believe you, but now I believe every man. But he getting a second chance. Let's hope he can rebound from this and learn from this and move on. And don't hit your partner or your wife. You know, you're a dude, and this speak for the woman too. Don't hit your partner. If you do, just walk away and just cooler heads prevail. Right. Paige admit that she felt her drug to the second time because she was drugged up. So Who knows? That's the Page doing well, as you can see in WWE, coming back with the Absolute storyline. Page back on the road. Now, we talked about it that Cody Rhodes had a new piece of hardware. Well, he revealed the new design of the Ring of Honor World Championship, and we're defending this weekend fine badge. You can see right here, it's kind of look okay. It's improvement. I'll give it that. I like it. It's improvement. It's a nice form belt. It kind of reminds you of the. It's not like the WCW belt, but it kind of close to. Like Ring of Honor put their own stamp of approval on it. But I think Ring of Honor should have waited until to reveal the title at the event while posting it online just to get so many views. I get that, but the event is more special because that's what other promotions such as WWE do. Like they present something new. Let's present it here and let's show it there, like the NXT championships. Alright, speaking of WWE is experimenting bringing a new show to Facebook and name it the Mixed Match Challenge. It will premiere on Facebook Tuesday, January 16th, 10/9 Central, after SmackDown Live. Now, many people was trying to figure out it was going to replace 205 Live completely out the picture. 205 Live stays intact but moves to a new time slot at 9:30 after this Mixed Match Challenge show over. It will feature superstars, male and female from both brands, teaming up and fighting for their respective brands. So it might be like WWE trying to experiment, trying to see if anybody interested. If once their contract ends with NBC Universal USA in 2019, so it kind of opened the doors from there. Like, hey, there's other options out here. Let's try Facebook. Let's try, because all these shows now on Facebook got Ball in the Family. Us a little bit when we started, but we're not on Facebook. We're on YouTube, but like all these shows are going to these digital platforms and trying them out. Speaking of superstars, could we be seeing Lashley and EC3 head their way up north? Two of the top superstars in Impact Wrestling contracts are likely up early next year, and they could leave the promotion, or could one of or two of them, both of them, win up in WWE. Now, I feel like with Lashley and EC3, like Lashley, he could probably go back, but EC3 could too. But with Lashley, I don't know. I'd rather see him in Impact because he is a good star. Impact treated him well. If they believed enough of you to make you the world champion, they do have some back and they believe in you. He's the same with EC3. If it happens, I understand. But I think EC3 gonna probably stay in Impact, and I think Lashley, I hope he has a change of heart and stay in Impact too. But if he goes WWE, I'm all for it. But EC3, with that grudge he had with Triple H, Triple H, how you gonna, Triple H never forgives and never forgets. So, hey, that's my take on it. Everyone is talking about Omega versus Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo. This highly anticipated match is getting worldwide buzz from fans, critics, and even some in WWE like Triple H. Tell me what you think. If you think Omega and Jericho gonna tear the house down at Wrestle Kingdom 12, because Jericho came to Omega's territory, his own little wrestling, and just destroyed Omega, left him laying, even attacked the new Impact executive Don Callis. So that's why they had to write Callis out some way. And Ken Omega got revenge on Jericho during the press conference and showed Jericho. So it's going to be an interesting match, a non-WWE match that many people want to see and thought they'll never see, but have the chance now to see it. And also, there's a report that WWE wants to film both shows in one city. instead of 2 separate cities, WWE is going to try next year to experiment with 1 city, especially Phoenix, as a test run to save, reduce costs on production. We'll see if that works or not. You know, hey. We'll see. Well, that ends Hot Topics. This was the longest Hot Topics we talked about forever. Let's move over to Predict the Outcome. Predict the outcome for Clash of the Champions this Sunday, exclusively live on WWE Network from the Boston TD Garden. Man, Boston was a raucous crowd because Boston beat Selma, had the Boston Garden, and now they're back for the TD Garden, same with the Boston Garden again. They end the final pay-per-view for WWE in 2017. All right. The SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line. Charlotte defends against Natalya. Remember, this all started back when Charlotte won the belt from Natalya in her hometown. And Natalya gets shot to reclaim the Women's Championship for the second time in 2017. SmackDown Tag Team titles on the line. The New Day goes on with Russo, English, and Benjamin Gable, with the Usos defending those belts. And because the Usos hold the titles in this fatal 4-way where all 4 teams are in the ring, not one, where individually in the ring on one. But we'll see how they go. The United States Championship is on the line as Baron Corbin defends against Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. And many people saying likely that could be a title change, but could Bobby Roode be glorious enough to hold the United States Championship? We'll find out this Sunday at Clash of Champions. Also, the Bludgeon Brothers takes on Breezango one-on-one. Good luck on that, Breezango, because the Bludgeon Brothers are on a mission. They're on a wear and tear destruction. So, good luck with that. Also, on the bonus match for the pre-show, Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder. These 2 members of the Hype Bros square off one-on-one. And Zack Ryder looking to gain revenge after Mojo left him from behind high and dry. So, this is Zack Ryder's comeuppance. This is Mojo's time to shine. We'll find out Clash of Champions. And the WWE Championship is up for grabs as AJ Styles defends his championship against Jinder Mahal, the former champion. Jinder Mahal been looking to regain the championship after Styles beat him in England. And Styles hold to the championship and move on, being the WWE champion as he started 2017. We'll find out. And finally, I believe the main event of Clash of Champions is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens taking on the team of Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura in a tag team match with Shane McMahon as guest referee, and added to this match Daniel Bryan. Now, we said Daniel Bryan he's going to be fair and balanced, and he's slightly going to favor calling it right down the middle, but you can tell he's kind of leaning towards Zayn and Owens, as you see Shane McMahon leaning towards Orton and Nakamura. So how this all is going to turn out, we don't know. I don't know. I think Zayn and Owens are going to win, and I leave it like that. It's so much implications going on with these Clash of Champions, where all the SmackDown titles will be defended. I believe all the champions will keep their championships intact going in Clash of Champions and leaving out Clash of Champions as champions. But the Virgin Brothers, they're gonna win. And Mojo is gonna win over Zack Ryder. So you got my predictions for predict the outcome for Clash of Champions. Tell us what you think. You can leave us a comment down there, and hey, everybody got our own form of opinion. Well, that ends the predict the outcome. That ends the show for this week. Well, you know me, I got to go. So, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the Pro Wrestling Show next week.